Hi, it's Merryl from the Heart of Tarot and my mystery school, and we've had a request for a reading on Harry and Meghan leaving the UK on the eclipse and the Saturn Pluto conjunction, moving to Canada and letting go of their position in the royal family. I'm using my Zillich tarot deck because it's a bit softer and I think they've copped a bit. And I'll do a first reading on Harry, then one on Meghan, and then two of them together. So this first one is looking at Harry. How are you doing? What's going on? What's weighing on you? And what do we need to know? First card, the Star. Well, he is the centre of attention right now. The whole world's looking at it. The Star is also that card of healing and integration and finding a balance of opposites. So I expect he's really trying to appease lots of different stakeholders, lots of different avenues, and very aware of the focus and attention on him. Below, or what's underneath, the undercurrent here, Prince of Discs. Now, Harry is a Virgo. His birthday is 15th of September. This is Harry, I think, even in his military years. And again, knowing the kind of position and responsibilities as a member of the royal family he has. The Prince of Discs is practical, ready to work, ready to make money, but also carries the expectations of traditions, where Harry is himself. Wow, he's the son. Confident. He really feels he's made the right decision. Although this exposure is very strong, he is feeling really aligned, supported, healthy, good, strong, physical, focused. You know, this is a new beginning for him. And he really feels good about the decision. So in this position, I'm looking at what's outside of him, and in particular in Britain, in the UK. Ace of Cups. So, wow, okay, so there's a real outpouring of emotion here. And normally the Ace of Cups is that outpouring of love. So according to these cards, there's a lot of support for him. There's new emotions that have come up for the British people. And let's face it, they sometimes need that. That's a really supportive card to have there. And it does suggest that, you know, the flow will continue wherever he is. Card over the top. What's over the top? Queen of Discs. Okay, well, that'll be Harry's grandmother. The Queen is a 0 degrees Taurus. She's an earth sign. And again, I feel although this Star is looking over here at the Sun and his own self-identity, his own actualization and independence, I feel it has been really important to him how it's taken by the Queen. I feel in this case she is giving a blessing. And the kind of the roots and the ties that go between the Queen of Discs and the Prince of Discs are very old, very traditional, quite gripping. But down here he's looking to flourish and flower. The burden that's sitting over him, Knight of Cups, being able to deliver his promises, being able to do the right thing and hold this idealism and hope. Remember, the Star card is about hope too. Hold that hope alive. He's put his neck out here and he is looking to serve that emotional, charitable function, although he knows it won't be easy. Let's have a look at Meghan. So the signifier in the centre for Meghan Markle, Lust, the Strength card. So this is that card of having a psychological challenge, you know, at its worst, it's feeling bullied or overpowered in a power struggle. At its best, it's graceful and able to hold in and harness the ego. So a central issue has been how well or how not so well she's able to harness the ego. She is also a Leo, born 4th of August. So this card refers to Leo as well. Underneath, 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is that card of looking over the expanse, wanting to expand your plans, wanting to grow new initiatives, new projects. And in particular, it's looking at trade and commerce overseas. So she's had this in her sights for some time and has potentially already set things up for her overseas. In this deck, it's called Virtue. And it potentially shows a kind of purity in her intent, or at least a very single focus. This next card is Meghan, Ace of Wands. Wow. So this is looking very ambitious. Ace of Wands, the initiative has come from her, the idea has come from her, she's the one driving it. It's about success and movement. It's rapid and it's very powerful. This is her wanting to move very quickly to establish new territory and new exposure, to expand her message, expand who she is. In this position, we're looking at how the British public have handled it. Hanged Man reversed. So she's kind of been hung out to dry. The Hanged Man is a card of self-sacrifice. But reversed, you don't really have a choice about what you're sacrificing. It's also an awareness from the British public that things have really changed. They've been in some sort of waiting game, and now that's blown open. The Hanged Man reversed victimizes her. It persecutes her rather than taking the sacrifice and finding a better form. They're struggling to do that. As an outcome, we have the Devil. So I have to say, these 3 cards and with this is that kind of naked ambition. Now, I don't know if this is picking up what's being projected here, but the Devil talks about that hard truth of loss and betrayal, deceit, power, bondage, being chained to something. So I want to do a clarifier on this to see what she's chained to, or if this is sort of referring to what she was up against. Okay, 7 of Wands. This is trying to reach higher ground. Wow, interesting. Look, it looks like a devil. Reaching higher ground, fighting unseen enemies, all the whispers and the gossip of the royal courts, of the protocols. These are the enemies coming out. And the Lovers. This is the pressure it's put on the relationship. This is where she feels her hand has been forced. And yet I imagine there's people that feel she is the liar. In her eyes, she's just been trying to get on top of things. The fight has been too much for her. She wants to protect her family and her partnership. The undercurrent is, though, this looking to get away. We'll have a look at what burdens her. Temperance. That's taking your time and having patience, and she's not able to have patience in this. It's also about looking a way to compromise and integrate, and again, she's not able to do that. This deck has chosen that the whole undercurrent is virtue. So I just think in her mind she's absolutely done the right thing, and Harry seems to think that as well. So we'll bring these up and we'll have a look at them, two of them together, what they've left behind and where they might be moving. And for that, I'm going to use my Thoth deck. Now, these cards are a bit bigger, so we're going to have to squish them together a bit. I have given these a good shuffle, but I'll just... What's that? Queen of Wands. That's Meghan. So our first card, past, present, future. Past, and I'll just move them around a bit so they all fit in. In the past, the Three of Wands, again, virtue. This is the same one that Meghan had down underneath. And we're looking at the two of them together. This need to expand beyond your current shores, to move away from home, usually to do with business and trade, but also just the expansion of ideas and exposure. In the present, where they are, the Three of Discs. This is collaboration. This is finding new people to work with, ways to share your information, ways to move to the next level. So it's not too sort of crazy at this point. This is what's moving into the near future. Interference, the Eight of Swords. This is that feeling trapped card, trapped by the circumstances of your own mind. So the next stage for them is not really smooth sailing, and it's the way of thinking around this move. It may be harder for them to get away than what they thought, harder for them to do this collaboration. Underneath, we've got the lesson they've recently learned, the Empress. This is the mother. This is Meghan as a mother. This is a creativity. This is wanting feminine fulfillment and abundance. It's wanting to birth something new. So they've both recently learned how much they want to create this new world. And also, I suppose, what they want to do for the family. This is also Mother England, the motherland. And I expect this is one reason why they're heading in for a little bit of strife and interference, as it's called here. The lesson they're about to learn. Oh, sorrow. Damn. Three of Swords. It's heartbreak. They are broken-hearted. The broken heart, the loss, a betrayal, triangles, again, gossip and mischief. And it seems to be linked with these swords. So they're about to learn how to deal with the heartbreak around their move, leaving what they've loved, but also the impact of that shift. What's working for them? Death. They had to leave. They had to go. It was inevitable. There was an inevitable end, and if it didn't happen now, it was going to happen soon. The thing working for them is building new life somewhere else, letting go of all that they knew, which was here in the motherland, the place of fertility and abundance and servants and big houses. What's not working for them is the Nine of Discs. In this deck, it's called Gain. In the Rider-Waite deck, you might remember, it's a figure standing in a garden, seemingly with everything they need. Nine of Discs is that number of material success and financial security, of being in that beautiful garden where you don't have to work anymore. But the trick with the Nine of Discs is that the Rider-Waite deck shows a falcon with a hood on it. Your wild part is tamed. So what's not working for them, they may have fallen a bit short of what it means to be leaving that life of privilege and luxury. That's a bit of a worry, given that Harry is feeling so confident about where he's headed. So I'll do a card to guide them on this because it's showing the next sort of level of pitfall. So I would imagine this is over the next 6 months until the next eclipse, which is in June. So just a card to help guide them. Prudence, the 8 of discs. So we've got the 8 and the 9. What's not working for them is being too lavish, being too complacent. They are going to have to be on their toes. They're going to have to modify their responses. It's not about going underground. I mean, this card, it's lovely, it grows. But it's a card of evaluating, of understanding what you reap you sow and knowing how to manage resources. So I think this leaving the comfort of the motherland is a bit of a kick for them. Although they had no choice. Best thing to do. And now just as a quickie, I'll just look at what this means for England and the monarchy. These have been well shuffled. What does this mean for England and the monarchy? 4 of Wands. In this deck called completion, end of a cycle. They've stepped through. They've opened a threshold. The Ace of Cups. This is what Harry got. New emotions. You know, a real outpouring of emotions. When it's too much, it can be outrage and abuse even. Tantrums. But I get a sense there really is a welcoming in the heart of Britain around crossing over this threshold. Final card, 10 of discs. This is dynastic wealth. This is the British family. This is the House of Windsor. This is the traditions. There is a real, I think it's a positive thing here. The Ace of Cups and that outpouring of what this family and this dynasty really means to them. They're welcoming change. They're welcoming new emotions and new expression. Thanks for Veronique for suggesting this tarot. I look forward to the next one. This is Merryl Key from My Mystery School. Hope that makes sense to you, and wishing Harry and Meghan all the best.